Hello, gorgeous flower pots. It is Sunday. I am here to service you. Who's joining? It is 12 noon here in the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching me from. How are we all? Good afternoon here in the UK. It is Sunday and I'm here to service you. Give me that like, give me that share, send me that love. Let me know who is watching. I've got Catherine Cushley. Hello and welcome, my gorgeous flower pot. Hello to you all. Hello, Ellison Steppy Holness. And hello, Diane Marchand, who said, loving the hair. But it's taken me a little bit of time to get used to it and try and style it and see where we are with it. But I'm here. And we're having a go, aren't we? We're having a go. Sylvia Turner, afternoon. Leanne Marie's joining us. I've got lots of inboxes on the Sunday service. I'm still a little bit low on night time with Nelly. But if any more come through over the weekend up to Tuesday, then there should be a night time with Nelly show. One thing I don't do is write the actual problems. So the joy of Sunday service and the joy of nighttime with Nelly is I don't know what I'm reading until we open the problem together. So that's the joy of the show. We don't know the problem, the answers are all off the cuff. If I'm going to have to start making up Dear Aunty Nelly's in order to go live, it's not going to work the same. So if there's not enough that evening, then I don't go live. So if you do have any problems with Sunday service or nighttime with Nelly, please keep sending them in to me so that I can continue to do my live agony aunt shows. So if it's the first time that you're joining me, welcome. What happens here? In my little black phone, I will open up today's problems, we'll read them through, we'll answer. Okay, any advice I do give is purely for entertainment purposes. If anybody comments on your comments with prize give, competition, giveaway, it is a scam, don't fall for it. Good morning, David Pendleton. Like I said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching me from. Mandy Swain is watching in Australia. Somebody said you are beautiful. I'll take that. However, it's been quite a traumatic week. Because I had my hair done last Tuesday. And you walk out of the hairdressers, don't you? And you feel $1 million. The morning after, I woke up with a helmet head. So I thought, right, I'm going to wash my own hair and try and see if I can style it. It ended up looking like some kind of triangle mushroom. It was horrific. So I spent all week thinking, what the fuck have I actually done to my hair? Why have I done this? Well, do you know what? Nearly a week on and I'm getting a bit more used to it. I've got all sorts of shite in it, and the good thing about it is I can now try and do more reviews on hair tools, hair products. The thing I was doing before with my hair being so long is just shoving it up in a bun, wasn't I? There was no style to it. And when I was having it done, it was just for that moment, that day at the hairdressers. If I was going to an event, it was for that photo, then it'd be on top of my head. So I'm hoping that I can get mostly kind of used to having it cut like this and growing it into a little bit of a lob with a side bang. So your hair does look fab though. Yeah, this is my hair and I'm not quite sure still what it's supposed to do, what it's trying to do, or what I'm going to have to do with it. So there you have it. There you have it. But it's folk out there with no hair on their head. You know, so it's not all bad. I always look at cup half full. If you are sending me stars, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. After today's Sunday service, I'm going to be sat at the kitchen table doing some reviews. I've got quite a few reviews in the inbox now. I'm waiting for Amazon to bring them. And when Amazon do bring the reviews, I'm able to film them and upload them. So if you do want some reviews or reviewing, then please send me the requests. Bear in mind I have no sense of smell. It's fuck all to do with COVID. I had a stroke 10 years ago. So I can't review your wax melts or your scented candles. When I'm doing a review, you'll often see me go, no idea. And it's actually a blessing sometimes. sometimes, that's all I can say. Yeah, so lots of reviews coming your way that you've asked me for. And I'm also looking at certain reviews as well that other people have kind of done and thought, you know, could that be beneficial to me as a reviewer or to my audience who may want to do that. Once again, I still cannot justify buying the Dyson hair wrap. Can't justify it. So I won't be reviewing that unless Dyson was to send me one. Many people think that I live in a mansion and I'm a multi-millionaire. That's far fucking from it. It's not true. My audience are just like me, and if I can't justify it, I doubt you fucking can. So, shall we get going with the very first Dear Aunty Nelly of today's Sunday service? Because I've chatted for long enough. It is Sunday and my job is now to service you. Let's get going. Okie dokie, anything you do write into the page, please be aware it's all anonymous, you know, all completely confidential. Your name will never be read out. Hi Antonella. Hello gorgeous flower pot. I am so stressed at the minute. I am trying to run 3 businesses. I work full time and I'm studying a master's. Ooh! Now my best friend has asked me to be her chief bridesmaid and to plan a hen do. I feel sorry for her because her wedding had to be postponed. But I was secretly relieved at the time that I didn't have to plan her hen do. However, her friends are really tight and it makes it really hard and I just don't physically have time. She sent me the date she wants to plan it for, exactly where she wants to go, the hotel, the lot. She keeps messaging me asking if I planned it and I haven't replied. I'm so stressed, what shall I do? Am I missing a trick here? But usually when the chief bridesmaid plans a hen do, they kind of plan it and the bride doesn't actually know. But she said, these are the dates I want to go, this is where I want to go, and that's the hotel. Is that not just as quick as sending a few fucking emails or ringing and saying, hiya, there's a bridal party at 10, have you got these dates available? Can you book me this table and we'll have that hotel? No? Am I missing something there? Because regardless of you having 3, did you say you've got 3 jobs? You've got 3 businesses, which makes you work full time and you're also studying. If she's actually told you, I think what you're doing is overwhelming yourself about your personal life, aren't you? So take yourself out of that. Take 5 minutes of a Monday morning while you're having a coffee. Just get in touch with the people that she wants to go to. Book the hotel and book the dates. It's that simple. I don't see the problem here. So I'm getting so stressed, what shall I do? I don't think the stress that you're feeling is because of your friend's hen do. I think the stress you're feeling is because you are overwhelmed yourself at the moment. You are doing a fucking lot. You've got 3 businesses, you work full time and you're studying for a master's. Something's going to have to take a back seat, flower, otherwise you're going to go into overdrive, overwhelm yourself and have a nervous breakdown. So maybe some of your businesses, maybe you put them into a diary and have some sort of control over your day, but make sure you're taking lots of care for yourself, self-care and relaxing and resting your mind. So I don't think it's that's overwhelming you. If somebody asked me to plan something, but then they give me all the details of what they wanted me to plan, fucking jobs are good, isn't it? Because you know exactly what you're doing. So I think I'd re-look at your lifestyle and see where you can cut corners a bit, or you know, just chill out on a few things and prioritise your actual tasks, okay? And I wish you best of luck with that. Dear Aunty Nelly, I need some advice. I am a size 24 in clothes and I'm finding it really hard to get myself up and lose weight. I don't really snack. How did you get the motivation to get up and do it? Because I'm struggling here. I want to lose weight, but I don't have the mindset to do it and I need to get out of that. Any advice? Absolutely. The advice I would give you is change your mindset. Now you say you're a size 24. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in size. That means fuck all to me. What I'm interested in is, how do you feel? Health-wise, how do you feel? Do you feel uncomfortable in your clothes? Do you feel you're struggling when you walk in? Are your knees hurting? Do you feel like you've got to stop halfway up the stairs when you go into the toilet and take a breath? I'm not interested in size. That to me is not an issue. Somebody's just said, we can't hear you. Can you hear me? Am I being heard? Can you hear me? And somebody let me know they can hear me, otherwise I'm just talking to a phone looking at a white wall. Am I being heard? Can you hear me? Hello, can you see me? Can you hear me? Hello? JB says it keeps freezing. It might be your connection, but yeah, Donna Marie says yes, we can hear you. Let's crack on. Right, so don't concentrate on what the size in your clothes says, whether it be a 10, a 12, a 26, a 32. I'm bothered on how you feel. So, if you're feeling like you're not feeling really healthy, you're struggling a little bit, you can't walk so fast, you can't run up the stairs if you've left someone up there, and your knees are hurting when you're walking, you feel like everything's just sort of like bloated and horrible, then that's the mindset you need to concentrate on. That's the bit you need to work on. So it's not about going from a size 24 to a size 12. Not about that. Don't concentrate on what the scales say. Don't concentrate on your clothing label. Concentrate on how you feel. Now I know that if I cut out carbs and sugar, I love sugar, but if I cut them out, within a few days even, start feeling less bloated. When I'm feeling less bloated, I start feeling a little bit better. I went into Pound on the 7th of November and I was exactly 18 stone. I come out of Panto and I was exactly on New Year's Day 19 stone 10. So I'm very much a yo-yo, not dieter, but my weight goes up and down. So at the moment, I've got a lot of bloating going on, as you can see. I think I'm a comfortable size, I'm going to say a 22 at the minute, but as you can see, I am a biodiagnostics or a cement mixer I've recently been trolled about, so that's fine. But yeah, cutting out the sugar, fizzy pop, all the carbs, because who doesn't love a lovely crusty piece of bread? By doing that, I feel a little bit better, less bloated, and by feeling better, I feel like I can accomplish a little bit more. So it's about changing your mindset on what you see and how you feel, and what can you do about it. So it might be, leave your car at home and walk into town that day. It might be a case of, no, today, I'm not going to have any treats. I'm not going to, you say you don't snack. Well, you're doing something that is making you feel unhealthy. So have a good look at your diet. Have a good look and think, what is it that I'm eating? So I know that if I steer clear of carbs and sugar, that helps me. Now, not for one moment do I want to be a size 12 or a size 14 or a size 18 either. What I want to be is healthy. So when I don't start changing my mindset in order to feel healthy, nothing's going to happen. So really look at your structure of what you're actually eating. Take a picture of it when you do, because it weren't long ago that I said to David, shall we have a Chinese? We haven't had one for ages. And when I looked at my phone, we'd had one 4 days before and completely forgot. So, you know, do little things like that. Once you start feeling that little bit better, a little bit healthier, that's the motivation that you need, because you know you're on the right track. Moving on. Dear Aunty Nelly, my husband started messaging other men not long after we got married. After confronting him numerous times and him denying it, I found evidence that he was wanting an affair. I confronted him again with his own words printed out in black and white, and he still denied it. After going through marriage counselling, we decided to split up. We have had a long break. We wanted to discover what we both want. I'm now thinking, should I take him back or wave the white flag and call an end to it? Please help. Do you trust him? Will you be able to trust him? Having that long break away from each other, have you thought, right, why was he looking for an affair online? Why did he want an affair? What was missing in our marriage? Can I now trust him, start the marriage again and go on and fill in the gaps that he felt were missing? Or, if you're out like me, once you piss on your chips, you pissed on your chips. Once the trust is gone, there's no trust, there's no relationship. Are you that person who can do that? That is the question you need to ask yourself, because I couldn't. And you've got to be very honest with yourself. yourself, haven't you? You've got to be honest with yourself and your partner and say, listen, mistakes happen. I'm ever so sorry that I wasn't filling in these gaps and you felt you had to go elsewhere, because it always takes two. There's always something, usually. And have you got that trust, or has it got to a sense of where the trust has gone and you're going to really struggle to get it back? Because if he's sat there on his phone, are you going to be thinking, is he really texting his mum? Or is he texting someone in Messenger that I don't know about? And that will absolutely eat you up inside, and it's not fair to you, and it's certainly not fair to him. Now you say, should I take him back? Does he even want the relationship to come back? Does he want a relationship again? Maybe not, but I would definitely wave the white flag. I'd walk away. I know my self-worth. I know what I'm like in a relationship. I know what I give. And if you need to go and look elsewhere, I'll send you off with peace and love. You go and find it, flower, because there will be somebody out there who'll be absolutely fine in your relationship with you, and you won't have that problem. What I also say is, before you even think of having a relationship with anyone else, then please, please, please have some time on your own, work on yourself, look at what it was that may have gone wrong. Do not take these issues into your next relationship, because I think a lot of us, and certainly a lot of dear Aunty Nellies I get, we're actually punishing our new partner for old partner's mistakes, and I think that's so unfair. Moving on. Dear Aunty Nelly, my baby is now 6 months old. Congratulations. However, I have bad postnatal depression, but with the help of family and friends and tablets, good girl, I seem to be so much better. Happy to hear that. The problem is now that my mother-in-law just doesn't trust me with a baby. She moved in with us when I had him, which was a godsend, as I was really struggling, but now she takes the baby out of my arms without asking. When I awake in the morning, she's already out with him, as my medication knocks me out so much I sleep long hours. I am grateful for all the help, but really want to start being a mum to my baby boy, as he thinks she's his mum now. What do I do without upsetting her? Thanks. I am so fucking delighted that the problem of your postnatal depression was highlighted. You were able to go and see your GP, and you were able to say, I'll try a little bit of medication, see how I go. And I'm so pleased that you've had lots of family and friend support around you. Now, this isn't a dear Aunty Nelly where I think the mother-in-law is interfering, not for 1 minute. She stepped in and she stepped up and she's looked after her grandchild by making sure that he's got everything he needs while mum's not able to do that. What you need to say to her is what you said to me. I am so fucking grateful for everything you have actually done for me. I think I'm getting a little bit better. I don't want to actually be left on my own just yet. And I love the way that you are with my son. Please, will you help me a little bit more? But me, I know you're helping the baby and that's great, but can you start helping me a little bit? So if I start doing things with my son, will you make sure that what I'm doing is okay? Because when I'm trying to do things, you're taking the baby out my arms, and that's fine, but is that because I'm doing something wrong? And if I am, don't just take the baby out my arms and leave with him. Then why can't you just like say, oh, he likes it like this? Because she is going to have a little bit more knowledge of your son than you have, because you've been missing in action for a little bit. Also, if you're feeling a little bit better, but you feel that the medication is knocking you out, can you maybe have a look at a medication review with your doctor and see if maybe you can lower the dose a little bit, or see if there's anything else on the market that could be a little bit better for you. But certainly don't push her away, certainly not. But tell her now, I'd really appreciate it if you can start helping me to be a mum to my baby. So therefore, you're not pushing her away, you're not shutting the door in the face, and you're not looking like you're so ungrateful for everything she's done for you and a grandchild. But certainly say, do you know, tomorrow morning, are you thinking of taking him out? Yeah, I always do. Well, that's great then. If I go to bed that little bit earlier tonight, would you give me a knock in the morning? Because I'd love to come out as well. And I'd love you to start helping me be a mum to my son. I think you've done amazing, but I know that he knows you a little bit more than me. But I want him to start knowing me as his mum and you and Nana as you as Nana. So you know, that's a really good way of patting her on the back for everything she's done, showing appreciation, showing you care for her, and still wanting her to be in your life, but more in yours now, and sort of being that little guardian angel over your shoulder who's giving you that comfort, that confidence, and that support whilst you're doing it. And I think that will be a good way of doing it without pissing anyone off or getting into like, well, I'm his mum, you're not, or whatever can happen. So the sooner you do that, the better. And I wish you all the best of luck with that. I also think it never does any of us any harm getting a medication review with any sort of tablets that we're taking for our mental health. I'm due my tablet review in March, beginning of March. I was on 50 milligram sertraline, then I went up to 100 milligram. And I'm still on 100 milligram, and I don't know whether maybe it could be time for me to go back down to 50, but we'll see. So I don't think it's, you know, it does anybody any harm to do that. Dear Aunty Nelly, my boyfriend only treats me nice and respectful and seems to only care about me in front of people. Oh, I've noticed this more and more, where he's only nice to me when people are around. He's a completely different person when they are not there. Oh. But when you say that he's a completely different person when they're not there, does that mean he's not treating you nice and he's not being respectful and he's not showing you he cares? Is he just paying lip service to like his mum, his auntie and next door neighbour, and then when you shut the door, exactly what's happening? Because has he got some kind of split personality, or is it just to keep up appearances? This really bothers me. It bothers me because you've noticed more and more that when there's people around he's nice, but then when there's just you two he's not. Now, I think that personalities and behaviour shouldn't really change regardless of your audience. I also think he should be a little bit more caring when it's just you two than in front of people, if that makes sense. Because when it's just you two as a couple, you tend to be a little bit more tactile, and a little bit more loving, a little bit more caring, because it's just you two. So that really worries me. I have a little bit of feeling that he's got a little bit of a narcissistic trait, and I'm not really happy with what you're writing. So what I would say here in good old fashioned Aunty Nelly style is, run for the fucking hills, or get him out that fucking house. Hashtag bye Felicia. I wouldn't even have really a sit down at kitchen table, because if it's something that he continues to do, at the end of the day, he's going to continue to do that. And things that happen to us in our relationships, in our lives, regardless of who it's with, are only happening because we allow them to. We allow those things to happen, don't we? So I want you to stop it now, sweetheart. I want you to be with somebody who loves you, cares for you, respects you, and is nice to you, just when it's you two, as well as in front of checkout girl at Tesco. Whatever it may be, behaviour like that shouldn't change. So that to me is a massive fucking red flag, and he needs to fuck off. Dear Aunty Nelly, how do I tell my 24-year-old stepdaughter to wear underwear around the house? I've seen everything, even though I've tried not to. It doesn't turn me on, don't be thinking that. No, I wasn't thinking that. But she's my stepdaughter. But it does make me feel uncomfortable. She'll sit on the sofa with just a little dressing gown on, and as she moves I can see everything. You can't miss it. Her mother, my wife, says things to her, but she just rolls her eyes as if at me to say, here she goes again. Please help, because if I do say something, she might think it's because I'm looking, but I don't know what to say or do, thanks. So, we've got a girl, Liz mum, Liz stepdad, and she's quite happily to walk around the house in a little dressing gown and be free, no underwear, because she's at home and she's comfortable. Flip this on its head, she's around you as well, and she's at home and she's comfortable, and she's not thinking, he's looking, or I'm going to make him look. So that's a positive. But in the same breath as well, she's a grown woman at 24 and she's got a grown woman's body. Okay, it's not like having a 3-year-old running around and saying, come here while I put your knickers on and your vest, come here. I think it's a case of you saying to your wife now, listen, I know you've mentioned it and she just rolls her eyes like you're going on at her, but can you really have a really good talk with her, because it's making me feel really uncomfortable within my own home. and I'm not looking, but you can't bloody miss it. And, you know, she needs to, like, cover up at least if she is in an environment where there's other people. And I don't think that's inappropriate for you to say that. I think it's inappropriate if she's in a room and she's trancing about naked and then you're expecting her to put clothes on, because that's within her own personal space. So you need to have a little bit of a chat with your wife. If your wife has a chat with her, it doesn't change, then go straight to the horse. Go straight to the horse's mouth and say, listen, Sally, let's call her Sally. I don't mind you walking about with no bloody clothes on and no underwear up in your bedroom, or when I'm not in. Say, but bloody hellfire, it's a bit much when I'm sat down, I'm reading paper, watching Top Gear, and then you're flashing your frigging fanny at me. Come on, fire, you're bloody 24-year-old, it's not what I want to be seeing. You know, it's disrespectful. Have a bit of bloody self-respect when you're around people. If you have any respect for me, you'll start putting knickers on at least. End of. So I think if you know, go to the mum, see what she says, see if it changes. If not, have that chat. Be brutal, be blunt, let her know exactly how it made you feel. I think sometimes people pussyfoot around things, don't they? They like to pussyfoot around things and think, oh, well, if I say this or say that. No, fuck that. Don't be thinking, well, if I say that, she'll think I'm looking. You can't help but fucking look, can you? Fucking hellfire. No, don't say that. And don't say I haven't wanted to say it, because just say it. Just say it. The girl wants to walk about half naked, you're a stepdad, she doesn't see the issue. I think on the flip side of that, that's grand. But on the flip side of the other side, you're feeling really uncomfortable. For fuck's sake, put some clothes on. Say it. Say it. Say it exactly how it's making you feel. And if she has any respect for you, then she will do. Then even if it's a case of, oh Christ, you know, yeah, all right then, she might not even think it's a problem. When she's rolling her eyes, mum might be saying, and you need to put some bloody clothes on, and you need to take your washing out your bedroom, and you need to, she might be saying a number of things, so she's rolling her eyes at the number of things and not thinking it's about that one thing. So, I'm not even going to go down the road of, is she doing it to entice you? Does she fancy you? Is she trying to show you the goods and see what you could have? I'm not even going to go down that road, okay? Not even going to go down that road. Have a chat with your mother on that one subject. If it doesn't change, you talk to her. Dear Aunty Nelly, how do I get my adult daughter with borderline personality disorder to stop being disrespectful? She's 22, lives at home, doesn't work, hasn't sought medical help for BPD, and will never help around the house, thanks. Okay, well, I couldn't really give a fuck if your daughter is not emptying the dishwasher. I couldn't give a fuck if your daughter is not making a bed. What I do give a fuck about here, and that's not my daughter, is why have we not sought medical help for your daughter? She's 22 and apparently has BPD. Has she? How do we know if she's never been to see a doctor? How do we know she's on the correct medication, she's had the correct therapy, if she's not been to see a doctor? How do we know that her medical condition doesn't display itself in a way where you think she's disrespectful, you think she doesn't do anything around the house, but maybe she can't because of the problems she's having? So, as a good parent, teaching our kids to do chores around the house and be respectful, absolutely. But as an even better parent in this situation, you need to make sure that she has sought medical advice. Has she got BPD? Has she been diagnosed with it? How is it going to display in her everyday life? What are the limitations? What can we do? What won't we be able to do? And what medication is there? That is what you need to be concentrating on as a parent. Not the fact that she's not doing any chores around the house. Her age bothers me because she's 22 and maybe it's a case of, well, there's not much you can do because she's now an adult. But if she is displaying signs of mental health problems, then you can be the appropriate adult and you can override that and you can get the help that she needs. She needs to be on some sort of register at the doctors that she's struggling with her mental health. So as a doctor, you need to, as a parent, it's all right saying that my daughter has BPD. Does she though? Does she? Or you missed it, Meg? Have you got a crystal ball? Get her to see her general practitioner sooner rather than later. When you've got all the facts, then we crack on with that, okay? There we go. Dear Aunty Nelly, I don't know what to do. Oh, you're at the right place, because I often don't. My 7-year-old child brought a toy home from another child's house, and now the other parent is asking for it back because their child is so upset about it being missing, but my child is refusing to part with it. Should I buy a replacement toy, or should I just hope the other parent doesn't ask again? It's just silly, really, that they keep asking. Right, dear Aunty, my 7-year-old child brought a toy home from another child's house. Right, your child is a thief. So no, you don't buy a replacement toy because you are rewarding bad behaviour. We do not reward bad behaviour. By rewarding bad behaviour, that's giving the green light and permission to crack on. Your child is a thief. End of. Your child has stolen something. It's taken something from somebody else that's not their property. They need to be told about that. Your child needs to start learning. Every day is a school day, and you sit the child down and you say, this toy does not belong to you. This toy is going back to said child. Me and you are going to go there, we're going to knock on the door, and you're going to give that toy back. And then you're going to apologise. And if you steal anything again in the future, let me tell you now, sunshine, what happens to thieves. They go to prison. This is a really, really bad thing that you've done. Make the child, the 7, make the child understand the consequences of thieving. You could even say that, you know, when somebody steals something that doesn't belong to them, the police will come and handcuff them and take them to prison. I know that sounds a bit brutal and a bit drastic, but that's what we do with thieves. In certain countries, they still chop the fucking hands off. So it's all right you saying, I can't believe they keep asking. Absolutely they keep asking. It's their toy. Regardless of what it is, it's their toy and it's been taken without consent. Your child is a thief. So you need to educate your child on how not to thieve in the future. Or you're going to spend your winter years visiting your child in prison because you have not educated them or taught them what they've done is bad, and you, by finding another toy to replace the one, you are rewarding bad behaviour. You cannot reward bad behaviour. Go and give that toy back, apologise, and make your child apologise. End of. That shouldn't even be a problem. The minute you found out and knew, you should have gone back straight away. Dear Aunty Nelly, how do I get rid of my adult son? He is 29. He's playing video games all night and day. He has no job. Often has his girlfriend round eating us out of house and home. They don't pay anything. And with the way fuel is going up, I don't know if I can afford to keep him or her anymore. Please help. You know, if I want to go somewhere, I've got to pay. Whether it be petrol in my car or a bus ride or a train ride. If I want to eat before I can open the fridge, I've got to go shop and buy it, okay? So I think what you've done here is you've allowed this behaviour and it's become habitual to him. He's, regardless of being 29 or 15, we've got to teach our children that if we want something in life, we've got to work for it. We've got to get the tokens and the credits, being money, cash, in how to actually get that. So it sounds to me like your son has no self-worth. He's quite happy being a beggar off you. Life doesn't work like that. So you're worried about fuel going up. Start setting things back now. Start switching off the Wi-Fi. If you don't use Wi-Fi, then switch it off. Only put it on for a couple of hours a day. You'll soon start wondering why you can't play his games. And if you can't play his video games and all day and all night, you might start asking questions why. Tell him things are getting really fucking expensive around here, Flower. You know, I'm really struggling. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to contribute to the upkeep of things that are going up and up and up? Because I'm struggling. And her coming in here and eating something, I'm not against anybody having something to eat if they're hungry, but that's getting a bit fucking ridiculous, because rather than buying for 2, I'm buying for 3, and I'm still not getting anything back for it. So either you get out your bed and get a job and pay for what the things that you need, such as shower, electric, Wi-Fi, hot water, food, or I'm going to have to wave you goodbye because I'm really struggling and I can only afford to look after 1, not 3. So I really think that we start off with our children at a very, very early age of where things come from, how much they are, and what we have to do to get them. So important, so important. Once you instill that in your children from an early age, you shouldn't be having this problem now at 29. But once again, coming back to what I always say, this is happening because you're allowing it to happen. You are allowing this to happen. And I want you to think about what I've just said. Things that happen to us that rile us, upset us, get us mad, piss us off, you know, put things in our world that we didn't want there, is because we've allowed it to. These things can all be dealt with in the right and professional manner, in a timely fashion. But if we continue to let them happen, it's because we're allowing it. So don't allow this behaviour, okay? Dear Aunty Nelly, my daughter has social anxiety and says she doesn't want an 18th birthday party. She will turn 18 in March. I'm going to turn 48 in March. Her dad and I really wanted to have a party because she was so poorly as a baby. So we want to celebrate this milestone. Should we plan a surprise one anyway? Right. No means no. N-O means no. I couldn't give a flying fuck whether it's for a surprise party, cottage pie for your tea, do you want to go dancing on Thursday? When somebody says no, it's no. So we don't dismiss that, do we? Because how would you feel if she was saying no to a boy, but he completely disregarded that? No means no. And I'm so proud of her for actually standing up and saying, no, I don't want that, and not allowing you to overtake that. I am sure to God that you are so proud of the fact that she has reached a milestone because she was so poorly as a baby. Then why can't you celebrate it just you and your husband having a lovely meal? Why can't you just have a nice takeaway for 3 at home, you, your husband and your daughter? And say, you know, when you were born you were so poorly, look at you now, you're 18, I'm so proud of you. And concentrating on how to assist her with the social anxiety ongoing now as an adult, rather than throwing a fucking surprise party, scaring the fucking life out of her and losing the trust that you may have with your daughter. Because it takes years to build trust in no matter what relationship role you're in, but it can take 2 seconds to fucking strip, and then God help you to get it back. So I want you to understand that not just because a child has social anxiety, or our friends or family members, whatever, if she said no, I don't want that, then no means no. And no should always mean no. We need to be woke about this, all of us, in any aspect of life. If we ask somebody something and it's no, then it's no. And we also don't need to be scared about saying no. I know so many people that do things that they never wanted to do because they're not comfortable in saying the word no. You don't have to be a cunt about it. You don't have to be a cunt for saying no, I'm not doing that. But there are ways we can say no without offending the other person. There are ways that we can say no, that's not right for me, for the other person to understand and move on. So maybe I should do something on that. But if somebody asked me to go out, I used to make excuses. I always used to say yes straight away. So you think, say yeah, and then they know you're coming, they'll leave you alone, and then you can always be ill on that day or pretend something's happened. Now I just say no. I don't lie anymore. I don't give myself that stress and that anxiety. Do you fancy coming out on Friday night? I don't actually. Oh, why not? Go on, go on, go on. No, I don't fancy it, sweetheart. But you have a cracking night and you can let me all about it. You can tell me all about it Monday morning, but I really don't fancy it. But thanks for asking, and move on. Nobody can make you do anything you don't want to. And as long as you're more strict with yourself and you're more honest and open on your wants, needs, no should mean no. Don't be afraid of saying no, and don't take offence when somebody else says no. They have every right to say no to any situation. That's been today's Sunday service. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Please, please, please keep writing into the page, and I can do more Sunday services and certainly more nighttime with Nellies. We are off now with new reviews, new Agony Aunt shows being Sunday service and nighttime with Nelly. And obviously now I am full-time at Ruby and Daisy headquarters. So yeah, so you'll see more of that as well. So if you have been watching today, thank you so very, very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you've been watching me from. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Take care, flower pots, and please note that any advice given on today's show was purely for entertainment purposes.